Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited. Today's short story read will be from Unheroic, Book 1. Name of the story, One Last Quest. Basically, it's about some people who get on a subway car and they're riding through Brooklyn. They pass through a tunnel and come out of an elvish waterfall. Now they're just trying to get home. Enjoy the excerpt. Whatever used to be blocking the cave had been blasted down. Shattered pieces of glass, rock, and metal were scattered across the opening. A detachment of Destrayan knights was supposed to guard it 24/7, which they did until someone expertly chopped them up. Grouped in mass, they must have valiantly died. I dismounted from my jittery roan and eyed the mountain pass. "The gate has been breached," Brother Mensla pointed with a gnarled index finger. I bit my sarcastic tongue as I spared the monk an evil glance. The old man had personally led us up here, failing health and all. That earned him a pass. Perched on a mule, Mensla's face twisted with outrage at such an apparent sacrilege. I should have known better than to hope that this way home wouldn't be yet another dud. At the heart of the cave was the Gate of Twisted Paths. A doorway between realms, it was supposed to get our sorry hides back home. I turned to Gant and Hiddos, pissed at how everything had gone so wrong this time. It all began with a subway ride on a rainy Tuesday morning. I'll never forget how the skyline went from Brooklyn to low waterfall. Still, moving at significant speed, the landing was rough. We were now on the world of Drakrim. We ended up in the world of Drakrim and the Elven Nation. A group of Elven traders came across us and tried to save anyone not instantly crushed in the crash. Of the 52 passengers, 18 survived. The elves took us to their king, who graciously offered permanent refuge within their boring, safe lands. Half of us stayed, content by the hassle-free beauty of their elven realm. But I wasn't satisfied with this world. I was an overeducated thug from Queens. I like toothpaste and stolen cars, ice cubes and cable. It's funny what you miss when you're not on Earth anymore. This world was the shitty equivalent of the Dark Ages, only with magic monsters, asshole gods, and way too much to spare for my taste. The elves schooled us, supplied us, and wished us luck. We 9 stuck together, fought for our lives, and died off over our 6-year quest. We bounced from one dead-end way home to another. Most were bullshit. A few had been destroyed or came with too many strings attached. Just getting permission to use the Gate of Twisted Paths required us to save a young king's life and stop a rebellion. That miracle took 5 weeks of hard fighting and some incredibly stupid risk-taking. Yet the cause was just. When the smoke cleared, we were living legends. I turned down a betrothal to the king's busty, jailbait sister for the best chance to get home to cheese fries and PlayStation. Now this. Most holy men were priests who favored a god or two. As a monk, Mensala worshipped all of them, even the dark ones. He figured they all had their purpose in this world. Still on his mule, the monk bowed his head and uttered a prayer to Oracle, goddess of death, to shepherd the fallen knights to their version of Valhalla. "What now?" Hiddos asked. The beefy stamp collector had turned into a huge, barrel-chested badass with a massive warhammer slung over his right shoulder. Back home, he was a geekus maximus working out of a Best Buy with no chance of losing his virginity without paid help. But here, Hiddos had a flair for navigating us through this role-player's wet dream. The more of this world he saw, the more he wanted to stay. "We go in," Gant replied. A single mother of 2, she had been the driving force for us to get home since minute 1. Slim and mean, we followed her lead. Back home, she was a corporate manager type who used to bow hunt with her uncle as a kid. Here, she could put an arrow through a door lock at 50 yards. They both dismounted their horses and followed me. "Should we wait for you, Lord Omar?" Mensla asked. My black ass was so not used to the title and never would be. "If we're not back in an hour, leave our horses and return home," I replied, annoyed that I was turning my back on land, titles, busty jailbait, and a few chests of gold, a small thank you for saving a kingdom from the Zolterum. I'll stop there. Well, that is just one of the many short stories out of Unheroic in the Unheroic series. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's about unlikely heroes saving the day, like subway passengers moving through Brooklyn who end up on a fantasy world. If you want to see more of them, TalesUnlimited.net is the place to look. I'm Marcus V. Calvert. Have a lovely day.